like to invite all of the children to grab one of these little cushions over here and just grab a spot on the floor and get cozy. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. It's story time. Okay, you ready? All right. Once upon a time, ages ago, among the magnificent islands of the South Seas, the goddess Tefiti brought forth new life. Gorgeous green plants, bright, beautiful flowers, coconut trees. From her abundance flowed the sea and all the fish and creatures of the sea, colorful birds and beautiful people. In her heart lived the very source of life and love. Some people believed that if one could somehow take the heart of Tefiti, if one could pluck it from her, then one would possess power and control over creation itself. In order to gain the humans' favor, a young and foolish demigod named Maui thought that if he took the heart and gave it to the people, they would at long last love him, and he would be their greatest hero. So Maui stole the heart. He plucked it from her beautiful garden. But as soon as he did, a great demon of earth and fire, a lava beast named Take, rose up in her place, and he destroyed the garden. And in the chaos and destruction that followed, the heart was lost beneath the ocean waves. Soon after, a strange darkness began infecting the beautiful creation, and monsters filled the seas, and decay began to spread from island to island. The brave voyagers of the island Mautanui, who had once navigated great distances using only the stars to guide them, who had sailed all over Oceania discovering new lands and new peoples, well, they came across this creeping, scary darkness, and they got very afraid. And so they retreated, and they left the seas for the safety of their island. They docked their ships and hid them away in a cave, and from then on, they only fished close by in the waters of the reef. And so it was for thousands of years, maybe more, until there came a little girl. And I wonder, do any of you know the name of that little girl? Shout it out for me. Moana! Very good. Until there came a brave little girl named Moana. Now, for those of you who do not know this story, Moana is a Disney epic adventure set in the southern seas of Oceania, where, coincidentally, I will be headed on sabbatical when I go to New Zealand. Like most Disney adventures, there is a tremendously catchy soundtrack and amazing animation, but the best thing about it is the hero, Moana. You see, Moana is next in line to be the leader of her people. As the daughter of the chief, her job is to keep her people safe from that creeping darkness and away from the sea and happy right where they are. But the ocean has other plans for Moana. The spirit of the ocean approaches Moana, and because of her pure and caring heart, the ocean chooses her. The ocean chooses her to restore the heart of Tefiti and defeat the darkness so the whole creation can come alive again. And when she is just a little tiny girl, the ocean gives Moana the heart, the sacred heart, beautiful and shimmering green with a swirl on it. But being just a little girl, she loses it. It slips away. As she grows up, the ocean continues to beckon and call her, but it is forbidden. Her duty is at home. After many, many years, the creeping darkness finally reaches Moana's island, and the coconut trees begin dying, and there are no fish in the reef, and Moana must decide, should she stay and lead her people on the island, or will she dare to follow the voice of her heart and brave the sea unknown? Finally, as Moana's grandmother lies dying, she gives Moana the heart of Te Fiti. Unbeknownst to Moana, she has been holding on to that stone, keeping it safe until she is ready. And now, at last, she is ready. Moana is afraid, but she tells her, "There is nowhere that you could go that I will not be with you." She places the stone in her hands and she holds them tightly, and with her dying words, she whispers urgently, "Go, go, do not be afraid. Listen to the voice that calls you and go." On this Easter morning, we hear those same words in Matthew's Gospel in our Bible, when an angel of the Lord tells the women at the tomb, "Go, go quickly. Tell the disciples Jesus is risen. Don't be afraid. Go." Do you think you might have been, a little afraid if that had happened to you, maybe? No? You'd be okay? I think I would have been a little afraid. Because the story tells us that suddenly there was an earthquake, and the whole ground shook, and an angel bright as lightning rolls away the stone, and he reveals the most earth-shaking, earth-shattering news of all, that Jesus, crucified and buried, has been raised. Death is undone, wickedness and betrayal and violence and all the bad stuff undone, and truth and goodness and life prevails, and love is the victory. Love wins. Now, when the guards see the empty tomb, they shake and then they freeze and they become like dead men and they can't move at all. Confronted by this new possibility, they are frozen, dead to a new life in the adventure that awaits them. But somehow, Mary Magdalene and Mary, even though they are scared, they don't freeze. They listen to the angel and they heed his urgency, and then they do what all heroes must do. They go. They go. You know, when Moana sets out on her journey, she is scared. She is afraid. She doesn't know what's going to happen, and she doesn't know if she's got what it takes to do what's being asked of her. But at the same time, she's really excited. She's filled with so much joy. At long last, she's following the voice of her heart. She's going where the Spirit is calling her to be, to do her part, to defeat that darkness. In our story from the Bible, when Mary Magdalene and Mary, they set out on their journey, they're also unsure of what's going to happen or if they'll be able to do it. But the Bible tells us that they go anyway. With both fear and great joy, they run. They run to the adventure that awaits them. You know, every hero's journey begins this way, with a call to something more, with our hearts pounding and our stomachs flipping, and maybe we're a little shaky, and we're scared, and we're brave, and we're worried, and we're excited all at the same time. That is how every hero's journey begins. You know, sometimes it can feel like the earth is shaking under our feet too. Sometimes things change and we don't want them to change. Sometimes people are mean to us or to the people we care about. Sometimes we hear about bad things that are happening in the world, about people who hate one another and who even hurt one another. And sometimes we get sick and we hurt. And sometimes we lose things that are very, very important to us. And so sometimes life can be hard and we can feel really small and like we don't have anything to give and we couldn't possibly make a difference. And we feel afraid. But I want you to notice something about the story. Not even Jesus rising from the dead can make those women unafraid. They are still scared, but the empty tomb does make great joy possible, even in the midst of their fear. You see, the empty tomb shows them and us that God's love overcomes even death. Our God has entered into every suffering, every hard thing, and shattered it, burst it apart with his light and a love that knows no end. There is nowhere that we can go, no feelings we can have, no bad things that can happen that God's love won't remain with us. Nothing separates us from the love of God. Even when the earth is shaking and it's really hard, God is with us. Just like Moana and Mary Magdalene and Jesus' disciples, we each have something to give. We can each make a difference. And God has given us all a quest to join Jesus in the work begun on Easter morning. Will we freeze like dead men? No. We're going to take a hold of our fear and we're going to grab a hold of our joy and we're going to go where God calls us. Because you see, every disciple of Jesus is a voyager. You are voyagers. You are voyagers. I am a voyager. We are all voyagers. And we navigate this adventure to which God has called us by the stars, the starry light of his love. By loving and living as best we can the way that Jesus did, choosing forgiveness and goodness, justice and peace, mercy, choosing love. And with every trial, with every dragon we slay, with every demon we defeat, with every temptation we resist, with every tight spot that we narrowly escape, through every challenge, we become who we already are, God's heroes, restoring the heart of creation and becoming the people that God is calling us to be, doing our part to defeat that creeping darkness and sharing God's love for the life of the world. For love is the victory. So now, I tell you, just as Moam's grandmother told her, go, go, each of you go, go, and do not be afraid. The Lord of love is with you always. Now, go. Amen.